Welcome to Let's Talk Nourishment, where we go beyond food and into the habits that truly nourish. I'm Abigail Parker, nutritional therapy practitioner, here to help you simplify wellness. This episode is super special for me because if you remember from 2 weeks ago, I mentioned that I had just moved and I was recording from my parents' church because in the chaos of moving, I needed just a quiet place to sit and be able to talk. And today I am actually in my house for the first time. But what's really cool about that to add to it is I am having a guest today. Kalli Erwin is joining me for a conversation about organizing your kitchen in particular. And my kitchen right now, if you could see the other side of my camera here, it's a mess because if you have moved, you know that it's not that you move into your home and you immediately get things organized, but I'm also not currently living in my home. So it makes it so that my house is even more messy. So I'm really excited for myself to talk to Kalli today to get to learn how to organize my kitchen. So Kalli Erwin is a professional organizer and the founder of Just Right Organizing. With their team approach, Just Right Organizing helps busy professionals make the most of their precious time by creating spaces where they can thrive and relax at home. So not just the kitchens. She believes organizing is a new self-care strategy, which I totally agree with. And she's on a mission to make this service known as a go-to way to be able to support your mental and work-life balance. As a mom of 2 young kids and a business owner, she understands the demands of a busy life. She's passionate about showing that intentional spaces don't just look good, they empower people to feel calmer, more productive, and more in control of their daily lives. When she's not working with clients, Kalli enjoys Netflix documentaries, hiking, and sipping a good iced or hot matcha, which I think we can all appreciate that matcha component. We all have a nice drink that we like to enjoy. So Kalli, welcome to the Let's Talk Nourishment podcast. And as I said, this is going to be a fun conversation.
Yeah, girl. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So Kalli and I have had a lot of conversations about business, both being small business owners, but I don't think we've ever actually had a strict, let's talk about organizing conversation.
Yep. Oh, I know. I don't think so either. We're ready. We're overdue, girl.
Yes. And I love, especially we're going to talk about the kitchen because, of course, being on a nutritionist podcast, the kitchen, yes. But I really feel like the kitchen is the heart of the home because everybody is eating multiple times a day. And as a parent, I'm sure you're well aware of that question, what's for dinner? And it's something that is really important to have an organized kitchen so that it does make it so you're feeling good about the food that you're providing for your family. Life feels a little bit easier whenever you're not stressing about what are you going to eat. So getting into kitchen flow is going to be something really important to talk about, especially for people who are trying to eat better.
Mm-hmm. Oh, exactly. So, one of the biggest things about the flow is making sure you can do a quick inventory. So, making sure that like nothing is hidden. And, like number one for sure is we don't want anything in your home in general, and especially your kitchen, that you don't want or need. Like for instance, when we have something in our home that my kids don't like, I call my neighbors and I'm like, hey, do your kids like this? They're like, yeah, okay, I send it down. Get it out of my house. I don't want it sitting there. One, I already spent the money. You know what I mean? Like I could throw it away, but it's like if someone else could enjoy it, I'd rather that. So first step in the kitchen flow is making sure that nothing is in your space that you don't want or need. Sometimes people have some keepsakes. Like my sister, for instance, she's a chef. And so food is her thing. So when my grandma passed away, my grandma's the one who taught her how to cook. When my grandma passed away, my sister got all of her utensils and plates and everything, and she actually uses them, so she kind of had to make space for them. And yeah, like she enjoys getting to use them, which is like so funny to me. But, like she only has the things that she wants and needs and actually uses. And because she's a chef, like obviously she uses maybe a few more things than you and I would. But yeah, the flow definitely matters. We'll meet with clients who have lived in their homes for a long time and a simple moving the glasses from one point to another, or moving the plates from one point to another, something they never even would have thought of, just makes their flow so much better. People talk about like having the dishes, like if you use a dishwasher, having the dishes like right above the dishwasher, having the glasses like near the sink if you drink tap water. And so like making it work for you. And really the easiest way to fix a flow is if it's pared down, right? If you have to go move 30 coffee mugs and you only use 4 of them, you might want to consider decluttering, and then you can use coffee mugs for other things. Like I've used them to hold ones that mean a lot to me but are too small to drink out of for me. I use them for like holding things, like, I don't know, holding pencils, or like just trying to find other uses for them. Or I put them in my decor box and I bust them out whenever I'm feeling like it. So it doesn't mean you have to get rid of it, but finding maybe a different use for it. But if not, it just needs to go.
That's so many good tidbits in that one point, because I love the thought of, even if you're not going to use it, don't hold on to it as a, well, maybe someday, or will I have it? Because you're so right that there's always somebody out there who is wanting something that you don't. So get rid of it, pass it off to somebody take it to, shelter, donation, whatever that may look like. But
Yeah.
that's so smart to not hold on to things, because that right off the bat makes it so you have extra stuff that just builds up and clutters your space to make it harder to think whenever you are looking to grab something. And the kitchen flow of putting your things where you are going to be using them, where it makes sense. I know just moving now, I'm thinking through that flow. Not living in my house yet is hard, because I may think like, this seems it'll be where I want to put something, but I'm not actually in my kitchen moving around yet to
Right.
know where am I going to naturally grab for something. I think that's so important whenever you are organizing your kitchen, to make it work for you, so that you aren't having to take those extra steps. We all don't, we want to make it so that it's as easy as possible. We don't want to be having to do extra work or extra movement, because you're not going to do it. So that idea of, if I unload my dishwasher and my plates are immediately right above my dishwasher for me to stack on top of, or my cups are going to be right next to where I'm getting my drinks from, is so smart to just naturally move through the kitchen.
Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's such a fun idea, even you had with your coffee mugs, because I know that my husband Zach and I are very into, we have our coffee mugs that we like to use.
Yeah.
We have 10 coffee mugs, but we have the same his and hers cups, basically, that are our Harry Potter cups that we use when we're drinking coffee.
Awesome.
And so it's so smart. Have those at the front where it's easy to reach. Or if you do have those sentimental things that you do like them, that you're still not having them in the way of whenever you are wanting to actually use something, or using them for another purpose. I know even coffee mugs have been a thing that you can display. So instead of using them to drink out of, use that as your wall decoration, which I think is really special about the kitchen, that you can take those things that you would use and actually just turn them into decor, so you still get to enjoy having them.
Exactly. You could use them as a vase. I mean, anything you want. And if it's super special, I'd maybe tuck it away. It's tricky, the keepsake thing, because some people are like, this means so much to me. I don't want it to break. I want it, in a box tucked away, labeled somewhere. And then some people are like, no, I want it out. Like I want to keep seeing it. Even though I'm not going to use it, I want to keep seeing it because it like brings me joy when I see it. I'm like, oh, well then leave it out. But then make sure that you declutter the other ones that you don't love as much. But then I get entertaining. It gets tricky with the entertaining, because for each of our kids' birthdays, we do a brunch. And so we have coffee. And I am conscientious about that. But then I just started buying disposable cups too, because I'm like, I'm not going to I'm super limited on kitchen space. And so I'm like, I'm not going to keep every single mug just because twice a year we have people over for bread. So it gets tricky. Like you don't want those twice a year events to dictate your whole kitchen. It's tricky. So I encourage people. I'm actually looking at mine right now. I have we bought an IKEA wardrobe. So it's just a huge cabinet and everything. It's kind of like our shopping center. I didn't put this on my list, but so it's kind of like our shopping center. So it's where all of our back stock is. So if we run out of something, because we're limited on space in our kitchen, if we run out of something, we just come down here and we think of it like that. So like we have 1 or 2 or 3 of everything upstairs, but then we have extra down here. And so before you write anything on a grocery list, you need to come down here and look first. And that is so things don't get lost in my prime real estate. Like things don't get lost in our pantry. Because we have a pretty deep reach-in pantry. It's super small. And, even though I'm an organizer, I can still get caught up in losing things and buying things that I already had. And so one example, everyone we work with always has an absurd amount of something. It's so funny. I wish I would have kept track of all of these. So like one lady I work with, she always has a pumpkin pie contest with her family. And we literally found like 7 pumpkin spice bottles, like those little little jars.
Oh, yeah.
He was cracking up, and it's because it was getting lost and it was getting hidden. And so it's really common. Like we just kind of even laugh about it, because it's so common. So that's what I'm trying to prevent in my own pantry, and that's what I'm trying to help other people prevent too, is buying duplicates when you don't need to buy duplicates.
Yes, I appreciate that because I go through that with my clients too. I have a 3-step process that I walk my clients through on planning and prepping meals. And part of that process is to keep a list of things that you have on hand and a grocery list as well, so that you are making sure that you have those staples, but you're not overbuying those staples. Because you're so right, that pumpkin spice example is perfect of, I know that this is something that I use regularly, and I'm at the store, I don't know how much I have, let me grab another. But if you're actually keeping track of what do I have on hand, what do I need to buy, that really simplifies, so you're not having that stock built up that you're not using. Food is going to waste, and it also saves you money too in the long run then, whenever you're not buying things you don't need.
Exactly. It's huge. In every single session, there's a list of things that I hear in every session. And one of them is, I've been looking for this. Like I knew I had one, in whether it's kitchen or clothes or whatever, but like I knew I had it. I just didn't know where it was. And that's what we're trying to help people prevent by setting up systems in their homes, is like, you need it to work for your height. You need it to work for whether or not you have kids in the home. And then with the kids, do you want, like mine, I don't want my kids to be able to access certain things. So eventually, yeah. But like you need to have it work for you. And that's what I like really relate to you, Abigail, is like I know, your program and the way that you work with people is so individualized, because, I know you pride yourself on like, not everyone's the same. Everyone is built so differently. And so that's what we kind of say about the homes that we work in, is like, that's why I named the business Just Right Organizing. Cause I'm like, I want to do what's right for you, not Marie Kondo, not the home edit. Like some people love rainbow order. Some people don't. Some people, that's how their brain works. Some people it isn't. So anyway, everyone's just so different and so unique. And then every family has unique needs. Like, in my home, because my husband has type 1 diabetes, he was walking, he has to change his pump. He has a lot of things to do with that. And so he was walking all the way to the bedroom in his closet to get the things. And then he was walking to the hall closet. I'm like, Rob, why don't we just have a little station in our kitchen? Because it needs to be sanitary. Like he needs to come to the kitchen, do all those things in the kitchen. Like we need a station in our kitchen for you, instead of you going all the way to our bedroom or the hall closet to get your supplies, because this is something that he has to do like daily. And so I was like, is it weird to have type 1 diabetes supplies, like insulin supplies, in your kitchen cabinet? And I'm like, I don't care. It's what we need. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good point of it doesn't have to be that it seems the appropriate thing to do, basically. Like,
Right.
you make it work for you. So having things in the kitchen that may not necessarily belong there. Perfect example is, I have Invisalign right now, and I have like a little vibrator that I use nightly to help my teeth move. And I keep that in my kitchen because it's so easy for me just to walk through the kitchen and grab it, wash it, and put it away, as opposed to if I would tuck that in the bathroom or something, that I'm going out of my way to get to the bathroom, as opposed to, again, that kitchen is such a central location. And that's where I think it is very easy for your kitchen to become chaos too, is the fact that you are potentially adding stuff to your kitchen that doesn't necessarily belong there, just because it is that, again, heart of the home, central location where you can put stuff. So how are you helping people to decide what actually should be in the kitchen versus maybe moving it to another space?
Exactly. That's a good point. So what we do is we do like an inventory. If there's a messy kitchen counter, like I'm trying, one comes to mind for sure. There was a woman in Edwardsville, a client in Edwardsville, who, just busy family. They both work full time. She's pregnant. She has a toddler. Their counters just had a lot going on. Now, at the same time, like when we do that inventory, when we're like, wow, these counters got a lot going on, that means that some stuff does need to stay on the counter, in my opinion. Like if it's a daily thing, it probably needs to stay on the counter. Or you can put it in a cute little container and just get it down daily. It's totally your preference kind of thing. So we take inventory and we ask people, how often do you use this? How often do you use this? We put with like get rid of as much as possible. Um, and then so with those counters and with where things should go, some people might put their vitamins in a hall closet or a bathroom closet or whatever. But if these people use them daily, they absolutely need to be out on their counter, in my opinion. And then a lot of people have them in their kitchen versus their bathroom. And so we actually ended up decluttering so much that the items on her cluttered counter we ended up finding a home, nice labeled, like literally monthly vitamins that she only has to get down however often. Weekly vitamins, the things she took a lot of supplements. And so the things that she wants to get down weekly to fill her little containers. And so, some people are okay with a little bit of clutter. Some people aren't. And, it's totally your preference. At the same time, I know that walking into a kitchen, looking and then just seeing all these different things, it can be really overwhelming for your head. Now, everyone has different thresholds for that. But, my opinion is clear it as much as absolutely possible. But like if you use a toaster daily, I don't think it's a big deal to have a toaster on a counter. Now, some people hate that idea. Some people have their whole lives on their counters. But anyway, it was totally possible when I walked in. I mean, this is most kitchens that we do. A lot of them have cluttered counters, and we always find a way to clear them because some of the stuff they have going on, like seasonal, for instance, if you have Christmas platters or Christmas bowls or things that are like snowflakes on them, you don't want those out in the spring and summer and even fall. So like, let's get those out of your prime real estate. Those really should be more, I think, tucked away. I put them with my Christmas decor so that when I go get my Christmas, my holiday decor out, it's right there and it's exciting. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to use these for our cookie party this year. Rather than, a lot of people that if you don't put the seasonal things away, you forget you have them. It's just like, well, I don't know. I've just seen people like, it's a fun surprise when you go get your decorations box out, your seasonal decoration box, and you're like, oh yeah, I have this. Because if it was just sitting in your pantry or cabinet, you might not even remember you have it come Christmas time. So getting back to that. So yeah, we help people think out and we give suggestions. It depends on their style and what they're looking for from us. But a lot of times we'll say, have you thought of this? Have you thought of this? And then ultimately, it's their kitchen. And so it has to be what like really makes sense to them. So we just use their input and then we run with it. And then when we're showing them around, we're like, we can move anything you want. And they're like, oh, this feels weird here. So then we just make a quick swap. But yeah, counters can definitely, or where things go, we can normally, if it's in the kitchen, it's probably for a reason. So like we can normally get it to work in the kitchen. But then, I mean, no matter what session it is, there's almost always something in that space that doesn't belong in that space. And so like me, for instance, in my kitchen, we have a lot of kids things going on, right? And so I have a basket for each of the kids and for myself. Dad, I just put everything downstairs on his desk. but but I have a basket where I'm like, I'll deal with this later, but this is my territory. So I'm just going to throw it in my basket. Um, this is Henry's territory. This is Bridget's territory. So the baskets, as far as like getting things out of the space, are so huge. You know, it wouldn't take me that much longer to walk down to Henry's bedroom and put it in his bedroom. But like if I just want to do a quick cleanup, I don't want to have to go into his room. I mean, everything has a home in my house, of course, you know, for the most part. But like it's just those extra steps. And just trying to find like a quick way to transition too. So, and that works for some people and it doesn't work for some people. It's just like me walking all the way across I don't have a huge house, but me walking all the way across my house to go put away one toy just doesn't really make sense to me. So I'd rather like throw it all into a bin and then go disperse them where they belong later, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And I know that aesthetics get to be a very big deal when it comes to your house in general, because you want your home to look nice and presentable, especially social media right now. You know, that's the thing, is all of these aesthetic homes. There's like the Instagram versus reality. Yeah. And whenever you are trying to organize, I think it can be a game of aesthetics. I want my house to look nice, but it really should be functional for you, because you're living in your house. Yeah. And like you said, I don't want to take extra steps. So if you're trying to make it look pretty and it's not actually realistic for you, it doesn't matter, because then you're just going to end up piling on top of your pretty because it's not what you need. So exactly. Forgetting about, oh, my house should look a certain way, I shouldn't have my toaster out on the counter, and actually deciding, you know, how am I using my house? What's going to be the most efficient for me? Because whenever you simplify, you're going to end up doing it. So yep. I love to use food prep as an example, because this comes up on repeat with my clients, a very similar thing of, you know, prepping your food whenever you're getting your fresh fruits and vegetables home from the grocery store. It's very easy to just put those away because, oh, I need to get it cleared off and put away. But if you take the time to go through the steps of, I'm going to prepare it, I'm going to put it away, and then that way it's easy for me to grab, then you actually are going to end up eating it instead of things going to waste and instead of things piling up. Because how many times do you buy fresh fruit and next week you go to the grocery store and you buy more fresh fruit, and then you're like, oh shoot, I forgot this was in my fridge, because you just kept piling stuff on top of it instead of making it work for you, where it's just, oh, I'm going to be using this, so I'm going to have it ready to grab.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I love the glass dishes. Oh, one, they stack so easily, you know, like we have 4 sizes. We have 1 cup, 2 cup. I don't think we have 3. 1 cup, 2 cup, 4 cup, and then maybe 6. And it's just like and then we also use them for bowls too. So, cause I go into homes that are just filled with Tupperware and filled with the plastic, and, you know, I have my own opinion on that for other reasons too, as far as like eating, you know, they say we eat a credit card worth of plastic. I don't know if it's like a month or a week, but it's a lot. It's
a week. Yeah.
It's a week. It's so gross. Anyway. But I get like not everyone's in that situation where things are going to be coming back home, et cetera. So anyway, yeah, I get what you're saying. I just think that's why I just love the clear dishes. You can just see everything going on. And if we have, you know, say from like Thanksgiving, if we have leftovers in like a country crock thing or whatever container, it's like, it literally just goes to waste, even if it's something really good. Yeah, there's something about being able to see what you have going on.
Yeah, that idea of out of sight, out of mind. If
Yeah.
you don't see it, you're not going to think about it. Same with talking about your pretty Christmas bowls that you like to use. If you are putting that in a cabinet and then you're putting stuff that you're using every day in front of it, you're going to completely forget about those other things that you want to still utilize. So I loved that you had talked about even put your stuff where it makes sense. If you have Christmas decorations, it doesn't matter if they're bowls and plates that would technically go in a kitchen, put it with your other decoration stuff, which made me think how cool that is that somebody can bring you into their house to say, work on the kitchen. And then it actually spreads out into these other areas of their life as well, which I think is such a true thing for us, that anytime you are working to improve one area of your life, how all in all it makes your life much better in like this bigger picture.
Oh, for sure. That's a good point. That's a really good point. And that's what I noticed. One of the themes of people getting a hold of us was I kept hearing the same thing over and over, that I lost a lot of weight. They're essentially telling me like I'm taking care of my body, and all of a sudden I look around and I'm like, my home does not, my environment doesn't reflect my insides. Like I am like, whether it's like a spiritual journey or whatever journey they're on to like taking care of themselves, the house like doesn't reflect it. And it's like almost like, wait a minute, what's going on? And a lot of people just don't have the time to do it, and they don't know where to start. That's one thing I hear a lot of, is like, I don't know where to start. So I actually have a guide. I created a guide because of that, because that was so common on however many reasons why you should start in your basement or your garage, because those are like our ultimate storage spots. Um, so yeah, I did, and I continue to hear that, like, or I hear the opposite, like I am ready to make some changes in my life. Let's start with my house. Like I got to get my house in order. And so that's cool. But normally it's the other way. Normally it's like they start, really taking care of their bodies and their minds and whatever else. And they're like, why is, my house is a mess. Like, what can I do to make it match my new way of living? So it's so cool to be a part of. And
Oh,
I wish I could take before and after pictures of clients, because I literally see, a lot of times, depending on the personality, a lot of times they have some shame and a little bit of embarrassment. And I'm like, listen, the trickier this is, like, this is just like a big puzzle for us. Like, we're not judging anyone. So like, but I wish I could do before and after pictures of my clients where we walk in and you can just tell they feel like kind of stuck. And then when we leave, I literally see them like standing higher and like more energy. And there's just something about it. It's really cool. It's like such a cool experience to be a part of.
yes, I relate to that so much as a coach,
Yeah.
because it's the exact same way with my clients, where we start off a coaching call, especially if we're newer working together, where it's our first time actually face to face, getting ready to talk about making change. There's always that, oh, I'm a little bit more kind of hunched and I'm more nervous. Some people get a little bit more defensive at first, like where they're kind of questioning things more because they're scared. And then it's like by the end of the call, and then the further we move along together, you just see that relax coming off of them, like, oh, I feel so much better. And you feel the joy coming off as they're starting to get results. And so I'm
Uh,
sure that it makes sense that it'd be the same for you as you are going into somebody's environment where they are not happy with how it is. They're feeling uncomfortable with how potentially they let the space end up looking like this, depending upon what room it is, especially. It can get really chaotic. So to have you come in, I'm sure, like you said, there can be some shame involved. And then watching you clean out the area and explain the process of, let's talk about making this functional for you, that by the end of it, it's like that weight lifted. They're feeling so much better about the fact that they chose for you to come into their house. And now that they have this space that is going to work for them, because we are living in our homes, and it should be that you feel good when you're in your house. Whenever you have clutter, that can really make it so that your mind is feeling cluttered too, trying to find things and feeling the overwhelm of there's just so much here that I don't know what to do with. So to change that is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
And Kalli, what is your favorite organization project to do for somebody?
Oh man. Right now, I would say it's kitchens right now. And it's almost like I'm on a roll with kitchens. Kitchens can be really overwhelming if you think about it, like especially walking in a big size kitchen to memorize where everything is and to soak in everything they just told you about their, we have people give us a tour. So to memorize it and to soak it in and to know, it's just a lot of moving pieces that like it has to be kind of planned out and thought out. And so it's super draining, but it's so rewarding, super rewarding. But we normally take away, I mean, sometimes an entire truck bed full of expired things, expired, jars and cans and whatever. But it's just so rewarding. It's just to see the clear surfaces and to know like that it's going to make their life so much easier, so much easier. So kitchens right now.
Oh, I appreciate that. Since we've been talking about kitchens, I'm like, oh, how fitting. But yeah,
Right.
getting rid of the stuff expired, especially,
Yeah.
is amazing because then it's not something you're going to use. It's no longer just taking up space. And oh my goodness, whenever you can open up your pantry or your fridge and you can see everything that's in there, as somebody who loves food, it's such a good feeling to be like, oh my
Man,
goodness, look at this.
I know. And people cook more too. Like I get text messages where they're like, I'm cooking more now. I'm like, yeah, you should, it feels so good.
Yes, so much benefit that comes from having your kitchen organized and making it so it works for you instead of you just feeling like you are living in your kitchen. You're actually making it so that you are getting in and getting what you need out of it. I love that. And Kalli, I know you do phone consultations.
Yeah. Yep. So I do a free 15-minute phone consult where if you could send me pictures ahead of time, that's super helpful, or video. And then we can talk about, like what your goals are. And I can give you ideas on what we can do for you as far as like timing and estimates and stuff like that. So yeah.
Oh, that's so fun that you actually get to have that personalization right up front of, hey, send me photos or send me a video of your room, and I'm going to be able to tell you what I think we can do to transform your space and make you love it more.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome. So, if anybody listening is interested in connecting with you, what is the best way for them to do that?
They can shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram or an email. Um, I think you're gonna tie those, or you're gonna put those somewhere, right, Abigail? Right. So it's
Yes.
at JR Organizing, or email, or you can shoot me a text.
Awesome. So, Kalli, this was a wealth of information, especially because of the fact that we are talking about nourishment here, and nourishment comes from the food that is in your kitchen, but it also comes from the joy that you feel from living life. And I think that just walking through a home that feels like you are in control of it makes
Mhm.
all the difference in that joy that you're getting out of life. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Abigail. I appreciate it.